Hello, mis amigos. You're back for a third video. You must be liking the content. You read the title? Let's not waste your time. No, it's not because of business. It's not because of meeting a girl. It's not because of anything else except for health. Health is wealth. So let's run down the story. It's an interesting and a long one. I'll try to be as short-winded as possible. Bowling is an incredible sport. So many good memories, so many good achievements, so many good conversations and meeting people. And I miss those factors 100%. But my life was going to shit. It really was. And I tried to mask it over. No one really knew what was going on. Just trying to fit in, blend in, be a reliable top-level bowler. And it all started when I graduated high school and was no longer locked into a prison for more than half the day, and realized, oh wow, I gotta cook my own food. I can't just eat a bunch of junk and a bunch of processed foods. So when I started eating real food, I noticed that I felt better than ever. Of course, it's common sense. More energy, smarter, quicker, more adaptive. Everything's just clicking on all cylinders. And it really showed that first year in the bowling scene for me out of high school. I mean, within a year of graduating, winning a regional title, having the performance at Junior Gold that I had, that I dreamed of all through middle school and high school. But that's also where things started going a little array with my health. And the biggest being histamine intolerance, which most people know of as, oh, I'm sneezing, I got a runny nose, my eyes are itchy and watery, my eyes are red, I'm gonna go to CVS and grab an antihistamine. But they don't understand that histamine is a very crucial thing in our body, in our biology. And I had been on antihistamines for much of my entire life. And it helped me not flare up from skin problems or sinus problems, ear infections, or get sick as often. All these things, it helped. But it was masking over a root cause. When I started getting into eating real food and living a more in-line lifestyle with exercising, losing body fat. I had gained 25 pounds of fat my senior year of high school. And with these things changing, so did my morals and beliefs around medicine and drugs, because I'll call an antihistamine, it's a drug. And many of my closest bowling people in the community, coaches, friends, probably started to see a little bit of a shift after the winter of 2023 and 2024, about a year and a half ago, where I believe the phone shifted, but I think we're good. Where I had tried quitting my antihistamine because I knew that long term, for my long-term health, I knew it was something I didn't want to have to rely on. And I knew God has a way to heal this for me. I believe in Him. I believe in Mother Nature. And I'm going to see what happens. And immediately upon getting off antihistamines and changing some things around in my diet and life, things started to go downhill, I would say, mentally. And now I've learned histamine plays a crucial role in dopamine and focus and cognition. And when you're having histamine problems, it's very hard to even want to be doing anything that you're doing. And I started to experience that with business and more importantly with bowling and my performance. My closest people in the bowling community probably started to see me not care as much, not desire to win as much, and not have that level of focus and passion for the sport and every time I showed up anymore. And it was just a real mental haze that was over me anytime I would do those things. And my health also took a downward direction. Skin, gut health, mental, sinuses getting sick, feeling sick, fatigue, energy levels, you name it, really, over the year of 2024. And I found some supplements towards the end of the year, vitamin D being a big one, that really worked and was actually the only reason I was even able to bowl the US Open. So let's go through some of the things that was going on with me that really impacted my desire to want to be in the bowling alley anymore, because I knew it was making me worse. I knew it was delaying any healing, committing to healing that I could get. Before I even quit antihistamines in the summer of 2023, when I kind of broke out on the scene, I started getting some angular cheilitis symptoms on my lips, on my mouth. The corners of your mouth cracking, and it would look like a million cuts on my lips, and it would flake off, and obviously you don't want to be seen like that. But a cut or two, big deal. When it turns into not being able to open my mouth and talk and socialize and just live life, man, it really gets to you. And like anyone else who believes in the matrix, the centralized system, I went to the doctor. What did the doctor do? Here's a cream. It'll treat it. Probably made my skin worse. I'm probably still recovering from that cream that I did for a couple weeks. Just like everything else they teach us, right? It'll mask the symptom for a short time, and voila, you start to not react to it anymore in a positive way, and it comes back. Sound like anything else in our society? There's many others. Just had to throw that in there. That's also around when I started eating a lot more real food. So I was feeling great. It's why my performance was great. Business was great. Trajectory of life, feeling good, great energy. Everything's going really well. And like I said, I wanted to get off antihistamine, because also that winter I started getting symptoms of what they call Raynaud's syndrome, which is where your fingers, I would be exposed to 45-degree weather, 50-degree weather, 55-degree weather, and my fingers would turn completely white and completely numb, really painful, And then it just turned into like cold intolerance overall, feet and hands. And you can imagine it got to a point where when I go to these tournaments during the winter, it'll take me until game 2 to even have blood flow in my hands, my fingers. And then after getting off antihistamines, I was much more reactive to all foods, to all things. I didn't understand. I'm thinking, oh, this food must be bad then. I just must not be able to digest meat, ground beef, fruits, butter, dairy, cheeses, home-cooked meals. Heck, water, salt. You start diving into the weeds, trying everything, trying a million things, nothing's working. And I did find that some vitamin D supplementation did help last year in 2024 to make my skin much clearer, of course. So that should have rung some bells at that time when I saw that. But I was also implementing other supplements. You get lost in the sauce. I'm on 0 supplements. I've been on 0 supplements for pretty much 10 months, pretty much most of the year of 2025, and I'll explain why later on. But I had an invitation to the 2025 US Open, and I wanted to bowl. You know, I what an opportunity, right? I wanted to give it a try. But 2024, I started getting off the antihistamines, and I started getting, I call it death by 1,000 cuts. I mean, just thousands of cuts that you can see on the palms of your hands, your fingers, your fingertips. And I realized that I also would get it on the pads of my fingers, my 2 bowling fingers, being a 2-hander. After even 2 games, I would start splitting the skin open, and it wasn't repairing itself, and it was so sensitive. So just bowling with a good grip, not forcing anything, everything feels good. Just simple bowling was ripping my skin apart. And you get to a point where you start to not even be able to bend your fingers and go to work, do basic things. And it just gets to your mind. It's like, man, like I'm sacrificing a lot to be able to bowl here. And the only way I was able to even bowl the 2025 US Open a couple weeks prior, I started mega dosing vitamin D and some other supplements just to try something, because my health was in a really bad spot. Not even just the skin things or the cold intolerance things, just pretty much everything was in bad position. I kind of knew after the US Open it would be my Super Bowl in the sport of bowling. I kind of knew that after that I was going to get to go on a new journey, a journey that is and has become even more important to me. Healing, being able to enjoy the basics of life and prioritizing those things. Now let's talk about the sport, right? Like I said, I've basically not been bowling for 10 months, and I don't miss it. As you can see, my shirt's off, I'm bare feet in the ground, in the sun. Do you get any of that in bowling? I didn't really think about it until later this summer or this fall, and over the last few weeks and month or so, how unhealthy and toxic of an environment the bowling alley is. We can sit here and talk about all the things, but is anything real in that bowling alley except for the people and relationships you get to build? I don't think so. Bowling balls, fake, the lane, now synthetic. The oils, now synthetic. You're basically going to a Las Vegas casino. And heck, imagine if you bowl in college. You're bowling 2 hours before the sunrise comes up, and you're in a casino, bright lights everywhere. Do you think that's maybe a factor in why there's a lot of unhealthy bowlers and people around the bowling alley? Just an idea. You're getting zero sunlight. If you commit to being a bowler, you're inside all day. You're around bright lights all day. You're around loud noises all day. And it got to a point where I got sick and tired of being sick and tired outside the bowling alley. In it while bowling, right? Not feeling good and not really wanting to be there. And always having in the back of my mind, man, my health is just not there. Not there. So Brendan, when are you coming back? Are you ever gonna bowl again? God's will be done in my life. Who knows? Maybe I'll build a bowling alley with natural light, with natural woods and materials. Never know. But in terms of playing, in terms of being in that environment, it wasn't the root cause, but to compete at the highest level and to be around that environment for too long, you can never heal in the same environment that made you sick. So Brendan, where are you now? There's no way your shirt's off and it's sunny, because it's probably snowy where you are. So where are you? I'm at the 9th north latitude in Costa Rica. Been here for about a month, and within 6 days of being here, my hands that were all webby and cut up, couldn't even go golfing sometimes without just my hand cracking apart. Completely smooth as a baby's butt within a week. You think the sun might be a little bit important? You think getting off the phone might be a little bit important? You think having bare feet on the ground might be important? This is a little tough of a video to make. You know, I like to be light beat. I love to laugh. I love to have a good time, but this had to come out early in this channel, because I know many of you watching early on know me as the bowler. He's the bowler. He's that bowling guy. Where's he been? What's he doing? And I just want to say, you know, thank you to my coaches, Andy especially, back home in Ohio. Meeting my best friend in the sport of bowling as well. All the other guys I've met and had great conversations with, girls, heck, even league bowlers, getting to have a rowdy and good time with them. But it was time to move on. on a new journey. And it just so kind of happened to take place as well. I opened the Bible in April. That's basically when I realized I wasn't going to be a bowler anymore, and I wasn't going to pursue what I used to think I wanted. And it kind of goes back to yesterday's video, talking about not wanting to know what we don't know. Sometimes it's just better not to think about it or to avoid it. But I have found confronting these things head on, and any problems you might be having, whether it's, for the most part, what I see in a lot of people is their spirit is just gone. You know, they may not have some of the health issues as others, whether it's thyroid disease or all these diseases you get diagnosed with, but people's soul and spirit is sapped. It is gone. When I opened up this Bible, I mean, you read Genesis like we talked about yesterday, but you start getting into everything, and it just completely reframes your mind on what's important. I had a beautiful sunrise here this morning. A month ago, I had to ask myself and look in the mirror, Brendan, how many sunrises have you seen in the last year where you didn't have bright lights on before the sunrise? Meaning like scrolling your phone or computer or driving and traveling. And it hit me, and it was like, man, maybe a couple? How many sunsets have you seen where you actually turn off all the lights and avoid any other people's lights after dark? And it hit me. Never. Almost never. Always on the phone, scrolling away, consuming, learning the next thing, progressing. You open up the Bible, man, we need equal light and equal dark. We need real life, 24 hours of the day. So far, it's working out for me. Feeling pretty good. Been surfing. Let's talk about other sports. Holy cow. You want to lose your passion for bowling? If you're out there and you're kind of doing it maybe because your parents made you do it, or you're just kind of finishing out your days in college, or you just kind of show up and want to participate, but you know there's might be something better out there. Holy cow. Go to a lake and surf with people, or head to the ocean. Grab a surfboard. Paddle on out, buddy. Tell me if you still like the sport of bowling and you want to go back. Sunlight, water, ocean, waves, the beach, trees, beautiful views, attractive people, like-minded people. Like I said, there's so many great people I met in the bowling community, but could it also be a reason why there's so many depressed bowlers, sad bowlers, bowlers who fry out? I've never seen more mental head cases in any sport that I've been around or played. If you played soccer as a kid, or if you played football as a kid, man, like, you're out there, you're on the grass. Most people, you're not even on turf as a kid, playing on grass. You're in the sun. You're in the cold. You're embracing the cold. Instead of, oh, it's cold out, I need to go inside for 10 hours and get 10 hours of screen time in. What are we doing? What are we doing? Open up that Bible in the spring. Changed my life forever. I recommend you do it as well. And don't listen to other people. If you're a personality like me where, man, somebody tells you to do something, you're going to do the opposite because you're that type of person, just open up the Bible and read it however you want to. Don't let somebody say, oh, you need to go straight to the New Testament, or you need to start here, you need to go do this, you need to have this praying routine, you need to do this or believe in this and say this and do that. No, buddy. You need to start your own journey, your own path, to form your own thoughts, to get off the devices, to get off of modern technology that has crushed everybody's spirit and soul. I think we'll leave it there, man. Or gal. Maybe there's some gals listening. Don't know. We will see you in the next one.